How are we all doing today? I mean, I'm trusting that the session for today is going to be interesting because we have some amazing, amazing package for you all today. I don't know if you all are able to see me. All right, okay. So, like I said, this promises to be an interesting event today, and we are hoping that you would enjoy the series for today. We are hoping you enjoy the series for today. Um, in this session for today, we'll be having none other than one of our senior leaders in the house. He will be taking this wonderful session for today, right? So at this point in time, in order not to, waste further time, I would like to welcome Imo. Hello, Imo. How are we doing today?
I promise I'm fine today. How are you too?
I I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I've been looking forward to this session because I'm hoping that I'm actually going to learn a lot from this particular session. So in order not to waste so much time, I'll allow you to go ahead and do your thing. And while I take my notes and my pen and jots, and learn one or two things from your sessions today. So Imo, the
Okay.
floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Promise.
You're
Hello
welcome.
everyone. Welcome to today's section. So as Promise has rightly said, uh, today's section is designed to give you that knowledge that you need to get started with what AWS VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, is all about. Whether you're a beginner or a professional or someone who is intermediate into your talking career, go in on-prem or a hybrid environment or even in the cloud. This section is perfect for you. We are not. This section is brought to you by the AWS Cloud User Group, the AWS Security User Group Nigeria, and this is our. We are back with our studies. We had some in the past, and we are back again. And there's going to be a quiz for you to win in today's section. So the quiz is going to be made available to about three winners: first, second, and third. So let's jump up to what we have on the screen today. So we are going to be talking about how you can govern your cloud environment with AWS VPC. So VPC, as we all know, most of you have known have used it before to launch resources within your AWS cloud environment. Is something that is similar to your traditional network environment, whereby you have your own traditional network, but it's solely that particular one is solely hosted in your own vicinity, your own company premises. But in terms of AWS virtual private cloud, I'm going to go about with the name virtual. I mean something that is not within your own, is built on top a gigantic machine somewhere and is not particularly belonging to you alone, and maybe it could be a shared, it could be dedicated or something like that. Then private mean that something that is particularly only for you, made available only for you, and nobody else can have access to it. Then cloud is the AWS itself, the cloud environment, and that takes me to what AWS VPC is, and we are before to be one of some to be a kind of a network infrastructure present in the cloud, in the AWS cloud environment, that enable you to launch resources into that environment. AWS cloud is built on layers. We have the cloud. Once you sign off on for the cloud, please, if you have questions, you can drop it on. Feel free to drop them on the chat section. It will be brought to my attention. So when you launch for an AWS account, you are being given an entirely cloud environment, and that cloud environment has what is called region. Within a region, we have what they call VPC. So that is why VPC is known as regional specific resource on the AWS cloud. So it's something that you launch within a specific region. It should not be confused or be misled, be mistaken for global resources such as CloudFront, or maybe we have the Route 53 that helps to distribute traffic across VPC in different regions as well. And we also have the likes of direct connection that you can centrally manage connection from directly from the AWS to your own on-premises. It should not also be confused with something like like um, the AWS Transit Gateway, though is a specific region, and also like the S3 is globally unique in terms of name, but the bucket is region. So AWS VPC is a region-specific resources that enable you to launch your AWS resources within a defined network area that to enable you to govern that particular environment. That is why the topic says govern your cloud environment. So once you map out your VPC, by default, there's a VPC once you sign up for an AWS account. Why do you have default VPC? In case you want to quickly launch resources without having to create your own, AWS gives you that opportunity to quickly use the existing VPC to quickly launch, spin up maybe an EC2 instance, S3 bucket, and all that. So we are going to be looking at a very it's you provision a logically isolated section of the AWS cloud to yourself. That's what VPC means. It is logical. You don't get to see it, but it's there. Another one is just as I have some images. We have the test VPC, which I used to define. As you can see, by default, you'll be given in your route table as soon as you define your VPC, because AWS as best practice to have at least 2 availability zones within a certain VPC. And within a VPC comes a public and private subnet. So there is a particular IP address called that is about 10.0.0.0 and with the 16 inside that range that enables the subnet with certain VPC to communicate with one another. This particular IP address does not communicate outside VPC. It enables the subnet that you have within that particular VPC to communicate with one another. Then we also have a private subnet with a particular IP address. This private subnet now, you use it to launch instances like a RDS instance, something that has to do with critical data, something that has to do with is not meant to be publicly accessible from external users. That's when the private comes in. You can use your public subnet to launch something like this. Within the VPC that we have, there's what is called Internet Gateway. It stands as a gateway in which internet comes to your resources. It brings in internet to enable internet into your VPC. Without Internet Gateway, resources launched within your VPC will not be accessible from the internet. And another one, it's necessary for us to understand that once you launch a VPC, it is owned by you. Else share that with you, except maybe you have multiple accounts. You want to enable maybe VPC peering. They will be able to work together in terms of private connection and all that, setting up VPN. So we are going to be looking at VPC components. As I have been saying before, we have VPC component to be. One is subnet. Subnet is what you use to segment. You can segment your network into different IP addressing. You have to do that with the future in mind to enable you to have a range of IP address that is enough for you to use within your for resources within your VPC. So a subnet must reside within an availability zone. After you add subnet, you can deploy AWS resources in your VPC. Without subnets, first thing to do is to add a subnet. Once you do that, then IP addressing is also a component of VPC. And IP addressing, assigned IP addresses, both IP version 4 or 6, depending on what you need, to your VPCs and subnets. You can also bring in your public IP version 4 or maybe 6, depending on what you have in your and maybe it all depends on your criteria. You can also assign them to your EC2 instances and NAT gateways and network load balancers, of course, to enable communication. Then route table, talking about gateways and endpoints is another component. Then a gateway connects your VPC to another network. That's what enables it to work. For example, you can use internet gateway, as I said before, to connect your VPC to the internet, and you can also use a VPN, a VPC to connect your AWS services privately without the use of an internet gateway or a NAT device. NAT, which we are going to be talking about later, is what enables your private subnet to communicate to the public subnet. In NAT, when it comes to NAT gateway, you can only have a one-way traffic. That's the outbound traffic alone. With NAT, you cannot have the inbound traffic coming in. Instead, NAT will communicate outside your VPC with the resources outside your VPC and all that. So another one we have is a route table. You use route table to determine where your network traffic from your subnet should be directed to, or gateway should be directed to. For instance, you need to know where to route it to. If you look at this particular in the route table, the IP address 1.10.10.0.0/16 slider range will route traffic to a local within, as is locally as within your subnet. It shouldn't go out. It shouldn't route traffic outside your subnet area to enable all the subnets within that your VPC to communicate with one another. So another one is peering connection. Use VPC peering connection. This VPC peering connection is used to route traffic between resources in two VPCs. You have one VPC in one region, and you have another one in another, maybe in the East US region and the West US region. You can use it to route traffic between those two VPCs. And you can also use it to VPC within the same region. Then it's also one of the VPC. It's enabled to copy network and send it to security and monitoring appliances for packet inspection in terms of anything that happened in your packet that is being transmitted from one place to another and all that. Then transit gateways, you can use transit gateway which act as a central hub to route traffic between your VPCs, VPN connections, and AWS Direct Connect connections. So another one is also the VPN connections. VPN connection is it connects your VPCs to your on-premises network using AWS Virtual Private Network. That is, it's called AWS VPN in this case. So we have also VPC flow logs. VPC flow logs is what enables you to capture information about your IP traffic going in and out from your the network interfaces, and in your anything that has to do with network traffic, IP address information, and all that comes in and out is captured in the flow log section of your VPC. Then we usually refer this to security groups and network ACL, network access control list, as the security components of VPC. Then while now the two of them are the firewall that are there to protect and regulate the inbound and outbound traffic to your traffic. While security groups works at the resource level, network access control lists work at the subnet level. Steps to monitor traffic, ensure that everything is less unauthorized traffic comes into your VPC, into your EC2 instance or any of your resources without them changing and knowing it. And for instance, if you want to ping maybe if you recently launched an EC2 instance and you want to ping it from this one, you have not to ping to see if it responds to requests. If you kink it and you will never get it right until you define the rules, and maybe the ICMP rules under your security groups or at the uh, level. Can you still hear me? Is drop the chat. I need us to be interactive and get involved in today's section. Promise, can we all?
Yes, we can hear you
Okay,
more.
okay.
Yes, we
No
can hear
problem.
you more.
Okay.
All
So
right.
we have
Okay.
the as I was saying before, the the security groups and network access control lists are there for you. They are security component of a VPC. They enable you to sort of define rules that either allow traffic in or block traffic. And take note in the network access control list, the deny will, in fact, in all, the deny rule will always supersede the allowed rules, even in, while you are doing that in your IAM policies and all that. So that's what you need to know, take note of. So we also have this is the kind of what I was explaining before. What you will not see within your VPC is something like serverless. You won't see S3, as talked before, S3 sometimes is globally unique, and Amazon Dynamic DB is also globally unique. Therefore, they will not be within VPC. They will fall within VPC. And if you have an S3 bucket, if the bucket is regionally specific, while the name is globally unique, if you define and you upload your object into your S3 bucket, you can manually make those objects to be globally available into up to 3 regions and all that through the what is called region applications. You need to manually set that up. But for resources like this, like the EC2 instance is a typical example of regional that a certain defined VPC network for you. So we have another slide that we talked about. This explain IP addressing in details. You can bring your own IP address plan, addressing plan if you have them. Then plan your IP address space before getting started. You can get started. You cannot just jump into defining your IP address. It will give you a headache because you need to take into consideration overlapping and running out of your IP address range before time. So you need to take time to plan your IP address implementing them. So few recommendations on the screen there is you need to consider future AWS region expansion. You need to also consider future connectivity to corporate network. You need to extend your network maybe through the direct connect connection to your directly to your own premises, and you don't need to anything to traverse the public internet. So you need to also consider that. You need to consider subnet design, planning it. You need to also VPCs can be between 16 SIDA range and 28. And SIDA range cannot be modified once created. Note, this is very, very important. If you're going to demonstrate that, you're going to see you cannot modify the one created. So, but you can add new SIDA classless interdomain routing to expand the VPC IP address. You cannot modify. Then you need to consider overlapping the IP spaces. If you want to give you a headache, you can regret ever working with AWS VPC. This is very, very important. You need to take note of that. So you look at what we have on the diagram. We have it standard range is being, in this case, it's showing that it's starting associated to the VPC, and also we have also IP version 6. This is optional depending on your workload. You can choose to have set up the IP version 6 or not, or leave it. So that's how all boils down to what you can want to do. So the next slide is how to segment your network. Now, you know that I talked about subnet. When it comes to segmenting network, subnet is what you should use. You can add one or more subnets in each availability zone. Remember that it is recommended by the AWS that whenever you launch your VPC, you should have at least 2 availability zones. Why? It is because anything you design on the AWS cloud should be designed with a failure in mind. It should be able to withstand failure, And when you have two things in place, it's more than one. Two is always more powerful than one. So if one fails, one will pick up and work. You can add more subnet in availability zone. And ASIS provide fault isolations. Subnets are located as a subset of the VPC CIDR range. So that is what we have here on the screen. We have if you can see, within this availability zone A and B, we have two subnets each, and that range and all that. So you see that with VPC, you're able to take charge of your cloud environment. You define, you govern when you're able to control who has access, because what called VPC has provided you with all these things that you need to ensure that your connection in and out is intact. So we have another thing. Now, how to direct traffic out by subnet, out of within a particular availability zone. So now, each subnet can have a unique route table. Route table is what route table traffic out of the VPC towards internet gateway. You can direct it to internet gateway, gateway, endpoint, sharing, and also through AWS traffic way. And public subnet when they went to internet gateway, otherwise abbreviated as IGW. That's what is abbreviated as. We have acting as a star between your VPC and the internet, public internet. And without the public subnet, you have VPC. And when internet inside your VPC, your public subnet, the router will take up from there and route the traffic into your backend VPC subnet, which contains resources like the databases, maybe something that contains personally identified information of people that does not need to be exposed to the public internet comes in here. Then if this private subnet has to go outside, that's when NAT gateway comes in. NAT gateway is to be able to take on to the public subnet. So another one we have under this VPC. Did you see something like this? So this is VPC. This VPC being able to pair with this one, which is situated at your corporate network through the use of VPC and direct connect. Look at this, connect directly to your data center. So that is how this operates. You see that that gives you to be able to manage what's the connection between an application load balancer and VPC. Yes, use to connect information load balancer and VPC is you can get that for you. You can use something like it have a public subnet present there. You can use something like a AWS transit gateway should be able to do that. Transit gateway and that connection with application load balancer and VPC. And also, don't forget, transit is also enables about VPCs to communicate with one another. Like if you have thousands of VPCs, that's when this thing comes in. Transit gateway also come in. So we how to connect my VPC to the internet. That's where the internet gateway come in. I talked about it before. Internet gateway horizontally scale hard VPC component to the internet. Connect your VPC subnet to the internet from the route table. The reference there. Uh, okay, not between public and private IP addresses. That's what we can. Then you have from the diagram, you have the private IP address. Now we have your hand. Route table is there to traffic. Then we have a private here that has this plan to be here. It should be and that contains something that is maybe like a RDS or something like a database, something like that, that does not need to be in the public subnet. I can add internet access that via network. No connection to the internet, no incoming connection, your packaging and services and assets fully managed by AWS is not. Before now, that gateway was known as NAT Instant. It was instant that you can launch an instance physically made for NAT. But NAT gateway comes out to that. I don't think there's anything like this again. So, managed by AWS, highly available, up to 10 Gbps, gigabyte per second bandwidth can be supported with NAT gateway. Then you also have support TCP and ICP protocols. It also net access control list applied to NAT gateway as well. So if you look at this place, we have the NAT gateway here. What is from this private subnet down out the internet. You can see the arrow is not returning. There is no connection that comes. I think it's my network. Let me see if I can switch my network because
Hello, Imo. We can hear you clearly.
Okay,
we can hear you
I
clearly.
had someone reporting that he wasn't able to hear me that so no problem. So
You can proceed. I think I can hear you clearly. Yeah.
okay. So now another important question when it comes to CE is, can I have one account owning the VPC and other using it? That is where shared VPC comes in. There's what they call shared VPC. It enables you to share your own VPC, maybe in an AWS organization with multiple accounts, without you the search. Though you may ask for using VPC directly, but the company you use will enable them, will beg them to charge you. I think one, if you are using like the NAT instance, I think is for each end from the private sub 0.0 or pay traffic. That needs to be verified by you. Do a little bit research on that. So we have a and a component and VPC participant, which is other AWS account, which can assign subnet into assign subnet. Each must pay their own resources and data cost. That is what they only based on AWS Resource Access Manager under AWS organizations. So it can be centrally managed there. So you have yes, account beta, maybe this is there. Then you also have this one account gamma. Yes, it is another function. Now, what you can modified by either the person you share your VPC or you yourself. we go back. Okay, this was where I think is very important when it comes to VPC. And so we have classic IP address, IP address associated with your AWS account. Where a classic address is, if you launch while launching your instance, then let's generated IP address. If you disable it, that your EC2 instance will never, you will never be able to switch into it or connect to it through either its connect means of connection until you apply and you attach a in the form of elastic IP address. So elastic IP address is that kind of an IP address that can be moved, movable IP address, yes, a cloud. You can move that as straight, remove it back to your AWS. You can really in your chaos of practice if you leave it. So what after you create it, you as straight it with your instance. When you use it back to, you can demonstrate it and release it back to the so can be an instance, can be remapped to another instance, just as I've explained. So that's what it works. So you see, we have EC2 now. This is private. If you can see the elastic address is crossed out, meaning you cannot establish connection to this particular instance. But in this second instance, you have elastic IP address attached to it. Remain no connection from like that causing that you want to establish now. So we also have, okay, I've explained this traffic security group. So security group, as I said before, is virtual and VPC virtual stateful firewall. That is what is referred to if you want to call it security groups. Inbound and outbound customer defined rules. You can use it to define your rules. Instant interface level inspection. That is they operate at the instant level, resource level. Then you can also segmentation. Mandatory. All instances have an security group. The default one, if you don't know, even if you don't remember to create one, when creating your instance, there will be a place for you to say, use existing security group or create a new one. You can create a new one depending on what you want. Or you pick the existing one. Can be cross-referenced. Works across VPC peering. Take note, it works across VPC peering. They only support allow rules, implicit deny, all at the end. Only allow rules is allowed, is supported. It does not, without you knowing, there is a deny rules applied to it. That's why it's called implicit deny at the end of the day. So we have internet gateway bringing in the picture SCP port 443 and security group here and layer. If either to block it, in fact, to allow. But once you are allowed to it, about it. But of network address access control list, it will block it, even allow you to establish connection. But the security group will allow you to connect, but to come to not balancing anything else. So you have you can also do traffic at TCP port 80, and also you have a lot of web server here, and you can see MySQL database, which is always at the bottom. That's in the private section. The main group check the connections coming in and going out to see allowed of depending on your preference. You have to define them, you have to define how to allow. So we jump to cannot filter traffic and the subnet level. That's where network access comes in. Unlike security groups, which operate on the resource level and standard level, is operate solely at the subnet level. So inbound and outbound traffic is blocked by default. Subnet level, this other one is stateful, and while NACOs or network access control is subnet level is security by default allow outlets be some not allow and deny rules, deny all at the end. And we have a guide. Is the network access control is there instant. Anyone that you define allow, which is for 3306 allow, but other ones which you didn't block, right? The IP address is blocked automatically. Now to connect privately to public AWS services, that's where the VPC endpoint come in. The VPC endpoint enable you to connect to support any of my thing or apologies. So confirm if you can hear me. Is the network apologies. So we have what is called the services powered by private link. Is what enables to carry out private connect to AWS network. Let me switch my network. Okay, so we have it's also public IPs, internet connectivity, or you can be functional without those things, without internet connection. So we also have traffic does not leave the AWS network. Within the AWS network, it does not go to the internet at all. So we also sell redundant and highly available robust the diagram. Let me check out. Okay, so we have this. The diagram shows that AWS private link. You have it within a private location where you don't have that travel through the internet. In this case, we have the public subnet, and we have the VPC endpoint. The private subnet, and this sets network and to S3 buckets. The endpoint here can be defined into a level management service to better to ensure that the so we also have how to connect this as I said before. Connect from VPC, we kind of one VPC in one region, maybe West region, and one in the West US region. VPC connect in VPC enables to establish so scalable and highly available for you. Inter-account pairing, same or different AWS regions, bidirectional traffic. Traffic does not in one direction. It goes both. This one comes in and go out. So security groups can be referenced. routing policy with route table. No thing requires full mesh to interconnect multi-VPC. No support for overlapping IP addresses, so it does not support overlapping addresses in terms of if you are being in terms of VPC what can come IP address overlapping. Direct connect on the port. VPC you can use only this in AWS. So that is what VPC direct connect and that hybrid connection activity that you earn is and direct connect. Directly connect your data center to AWS over a standard 1 gigabyte or 10 gigabyte Ethernet fiber optic connection. So now, an hybrid environment allow you to combine the elasticity economic your AWS. Of course, we know about that hybrid environment, what it means. So the thing that enables you to do this is direct connect. So we have the diagram on the cloud. This is the on the screen. This is the customer environment on-prem, and what the direct connect gets, which is you stand at the front door, attack client side, direct connect. Now, what we need to do is virtual gateway registration is are ways and what texting, just as we have and in what bringing to establish that connection very well from to VPC and other region. So also we can also establish connection between multiple global that is also accessible with VPC. So direct connect. How to add redundancy to circuit. So for redundancy, direct connect, the direct connect is abbreviated as DS, can deploy single multi providers, customer gateway, direct connect location, customer data centers, other gateway protocol routing for redundancy. AWS VPN can also be used as backup path. So now we have what is direct connection is to order the direct connect down to your on-premises, and you must gateway set that up as the gateway is between the computer and the direct connect device that is for AWS. So now direct connect my VPCs or AWS VPCs over my direct connect. So we do that through virtual interfaces and private interfaces. Without these two, just as we have in a normal cloud, public subnet and private subnet, we also play the and say the 1A and 1B, they have the private interface, virtual interface and private. Then we also have the public interface, which also enables public services, AWS public services, your own environment. So now to establish, we also have that get to connect to multiple. My network is breaking. I'm coming. Let me check that.
No, more, you can actually proceed. You can actually proceed since you're about rounding up.
Okay. So almost
Yeah.
times. So now
Yeah.
we have the direct connect gateway. How to connect to multiple AWS region accounts. So global sources, you allow to do that. Multiple VPCs. VPCs can be on same or different regions. Accounts with same enables flow from the VPC to the direct connection. VPC to VPC traffic, consider using AWS transit gateway. So that is where it comes in. When you want to connect VPC to VPC traffic, use transit gateway. So you can see we have region 1, region 2, we have VPC 1 and VPC 1B. So this place is attached virtual or private virtual interface or public. Private your own environment is not traversing through the public internet and all that. And they have AWS Direct Connect device, smart gateway device built in. So now transit gateway, as we talk about, the direct AWS transit gateway is where kind of scenario to directly connect to other VPCs. You need connection between them. So connect your VPC and on-premises through a single gateway. Centralized VPN and AWS direct connection, basic transit. You can help you to also control segmentation and data flow tables. So this is what we have. We have shared VPCs I talked about here. Your VPC within account for multiple AWS account. Transit comes in here to be able to enable you to connect all these VPC together. So that was so I'm going to skip some because it's I need to touch down on the quiz there. So how to connect scale across multiple account regions and all that. So that's where you combine the transit way and direct connect gateway to get transit interfaces connect to AWS Transit Gateway, simplify your network. If you want to have multiple multiple accounts, you can combine it. So NAT gateway, as you know, you have to be establish outbound connection only outside your VPCs. Your VPC. So use cases can be you want to access internet from a private public subnet. You want to also access your network using allowed listed IP addresses, enable communication between overlapping networks. Of course, that's where this thing comes in. Then security groups and NACOs, the differences, as I spoke about it before, one sub-level, which is the network access control list, while one is at the instance level, resource level, which is the security group. Security group is stateful, while and this one does not have connection by default. So that's what you need about. If you look at the diagram, we have the internet. We have the internet gateway which brings in this. We have the SCL standing by the subnet at the subnet level. Then when you enter inside the availability zone, here which has your instance, that's when you have the security attached to them. So best practice access control access to your and use security group to control traffic to your EC2 instances in your subnet. So that is what you can do. So we have a lot of rules. You can define open port, CMP. As I said, you want to link to your EC2 instance on AWS from your doorstep, the ICMP port, and all that. If you want them to be accessible or a stage connection, you must open port 22 or open and also open port 443, port 80, depending on your you want to run through the HTTPS or a security group act as firewall, controlling the traffic that is allowed to reach and leave the resources that is attributed your instance. So NACOs is also what you need. They'll dive deep after the section go further. So we have the quiz section. Promise over to you. Thank you very much for listening. Please apologies for breaking the network. Network have been terrible.
Yes, Imo. I mean, like he said, we would just like to apologize for the I think the breeze that during the transmission, and maybe probably the breaks during the discussion. But Imo, it's been a wonderful session, and I mean, none other. I mean, I've listened and I've been able to get one or two information from the session which you shared, right? And I know the time is far gone, and I wouldn't waste much more time. We will just go into the quiz session. So for you to participate in the quiz session, please kindly go to kahoot.it, and I'll be sharing my screen now so that you can see this as well. Just a minute. All right. All right. Okay. I'm waiting for the game pin to come up. All right. I'm gonna be sharing my screen so that you can participate as well. All right. So kindly go to kahoot.it, and this is the game pin. Yeah, use the game pin 4064254. Right. Go to kahoot.it. Yeah. Kindly go to kahoot.it, right? And this is the game pin 4064254. 4064254. 4064254. Yes, I'm waiting for you all to join. I see we have about yeah, this is about six participants right now. We have about six, seven participants right now. So kindly go to kahoot.it, and then you can, put in the game pin. We should be starting in 1 minute from now. We should be starting in 1 minute from now. Kahoot.it, and put in the game pin 4064254. So I see about 16 to 17 people are connected. So I'm just seeing just 8 people playing this quiz session. Is it that the rest are not interested in the voucher? Is it that the rest are not interested in the voucher? What's happening? I see just 8 people connecting. What is happening? 8 people connecting. All right. In order not to waste so much time, let's kick off with the quiz. I'll be starting right about now. Yes, govern your cloud environment with AWS VPC. So the quiz has started. What is the difference between security group and NACL? What's the difference between the security group and NACL? What's the difference between the security group and NACL? Time is flying. We have 24 seconds left. What is the difference between the security group and NACL? We have 5 answers in. The last time I checked, we had about 7 to 8 people in the game. We have 7 answers in. Wow. We have 5 people who got the correct answers. Let's see who those 5 people are. NACL is a stateless firewall that operates at the subnet level. So let's see who's going to be topping the charts. Wow. Lau, Trex, Elizi G, Barry, and Jamesh. Nice one, guys. Nice one, guys. So one thing you guys have to be aware is that Kahoot takes note of how fast you answer the questions, even if you're correct. How fast you were able to answer the questions also play in the score you get. All right, moving on to the next question. What is the IP address 10.0.0.0/16 used for? What is the IP address 10.0.0.0/16 used for? Who is going to answer this one correctly? I see we have one answer in already. I see we have one answer in already. 3 answers in. Less than 30 seconds to go. 3 answers in. Less than 30 seconds to go. Who is going to get this one correct? 6 answers, 7 answers in, 8 answers in, with less than 10 seconds to go. Wow, looks like everyone has answered the question. So let's see how this goes. Who is going to be our winner for the day? All right. Wow. 6 people actually got the answer: to allow subnets within a VPC to communicate. Clap for yourself, guys. Clap for yourself. Wow. Let's see if Lao is going to still maintain his position. Interesting. Wow. Lao is still maintaining his position. Let's see. Trex, Ellis. I don't think anything changed. I think the same guys who were topping the board are still topping the board, right? Well, I mean, for Jamesh and Barry, well, we are only taking the first 3. So I'll urge you guys to, challenge some Loud Trex and LEG. All right, going over to the next question. Internet gateway allows what? Less than 60 seconds to go. Less than 60 seconds to go. I have one answer in already. Wow, that was fast. I'm suspecting that this person is Lao, Lao. The guy seems to be very fast, but I mean, I hope to be proved wrong. I hope to be proved wrong. We have 6 answers in already. Oh, that's 8. 8 answers are in already. Nice, nice. Oh, this time around, just only 4 people got the answer correctly. EC2 to accept traffic from the internet. So, internet gateway allows EC2 to accept traffic from the internet. And we had only 4 people get this correctly. Well, let's see if Lao is still going to be topping the charts. Wow, Lao is still topping the charts. Damn. Lao, keep it up, keep it up. But I see there was a change between Barry and Freaky. Freaky just joined the list, if I'm not mistaken. But then we still have Lao, Trex, and Elizi, maintaining the first 3 positions. So let's go over to the next question and let's see if Lao will still be there, or maybe Trex is going to beat him, or Elizi. All right, on to the next question. A- AWS NAT gateway is used for what? AWS NAT gateway is used for what? We have the first question in already. What makes me somehow feel this is Lao as well? Lao, do you have some expo somewhere you're using or something? Because I mean, the rate at which the answers coming at the less than 10 seconds, I'm suspecting you, Lao. Wow, let's see. We have 7 answers in, less than 20 seconds to go. 7 answers in, less than 20 seconds to go. AWS NAT gateway is used for what? What is AWS NAT Gateway used for? We have 10 answers in. Wow, nice. Nice. 10 answers in. Wow. 7 people got this right. 7 out of 10. That's nice. So AWS NAT Gateway is used for sending outbound traffic from the private subnets. I mean, nice to see that we have people really following up in this one. Let's see if Lao maintains this covered. Wow, I'm suspecting Lao. Lao, you're a suspect. You have consistently maintained this top position, followed by Trex and Elise. And I mean, Freaky has refused to give up. Freaky hell is holding on to the third position. So, Freaky, you have one more question to beat Elise. I mean, I would like you to take Elise out of the third position. And Trex, you can actually stand the chance to challenge Lau. So let's see if you are going to be able to do this in this last question for the day. All right, on to the next and the last question for the day. You have an EC2 instance in a private subnet that needs access to the KMS service. Wow, I have 3 answers in already. Wow. Wow, that was fast. That was fast. Really, it was. So who is going to be winning this one? Is Lau going to maintain his position? Will Trex or Freaky suddenly decide to, beat up Lau and say, Lau, no, you are not getting this time? Who is going to win this? Who is going to win this? In fact, I'm excited to see. I'll be surprised or, amazed if somebody should beat Lau on this one. 9 answers in, 10 answers, and we have less than 10 seconds to go. Wow, 11 answers in. This is interesting. This is interesting. Who is going to win this one, guys? I want to be surprised. Will somebody surprise me? Wow. So we have just 4 people winning, or 4 people who got this last question correctly. You have an EC2 instance in a private subnet that needs to access the KMS service. What do you do? Right? And the correct answer is you use a VPC endpoint. You use a VPC endpoint. So now we are about revealing who the winner for the day is going to be. Now tell me, is Lau going to take this award just like that? Because he's been winning consistently. I mean, is somebody going to be able to challenge him? Freaky, are you there? In fact, I'm not seeing any response from the chat. No one. Interesting. All right, let me not waste so much time because I know we are way past time. Let's reveal who the winners are for the day. So, I mean, the podium is set. Who is going to be the third? Freaky! Nice! Lau was beaten. Damn, I can't believe this. Who beat Lau? Trax! Nice! Congratulations, Trax. Congratulations. Trax, you did a good one here. Wow. I was really amazed. I mean, Lau has been topping from the onset, and you came in and you swooped him off his feet. Wow, congratulations, Trex. No, you've really done a good job. You've really done a good job. I'm happy about this. But I mean, we have Lao who has really been doing so well. So I mean, Lao, you're still going to win something, right? Freaky came in from the fourth position, and all of a sudden he became the third. Freaky, good one, good one, good one. So for other guys who didn't win this, don't be dismayed or don't be stressed up. Don't worry. We still have packages for you guys. But I mean, we want you guys to join the next session we'll be having tomorrow so that you can be part of the winners for the season as well. But for this session, we want Trex, Lau, and Freaky to send us an email to awscloudsecwestafrica@gmail.com. We want to see your name, your full names. We want to see your full names and probably your phone numbers so that we can be able to get in touch with you. But I mean, I'm amazed that you guys did wonderfully well, especially for Trex. How he did this, I'm really, really amazed. But Trex, congratulations. You have done a good job. All right, congratulations to Trex, Lau, and Freaky. At this point, we will be, rounding off the session for today. And like I said, please don't forget the session tomorrow. Don't forget to join the session tomorrow. We are going to be having an interesting and amazing session like this tomorrow, and we would love you all to join in. So, Lao, you can join in tomorrow and try to see if you beat Trex to this. And Freaky, you do the same thing. Try to beat Trex to this as well. So overall, I would say this was really, really an amazing session, and I'm really, really happy about this. We are way past the time. So at this point, I would like to round off the session, and I would like to say thank you everyone for participating in the session for today. We are going to be having another interesting speaker for tomorrow. So please don't forget to join in. Don't forget to join in. Hopefully, we'll be having a smooth ride tomorrow, and we'll have more winners joining on the session. So at this point in time, if you haven't followed our pages, please go to LinkedIn, follow our pages, subscribe to our channel, right, so that you get updated with our events which we are going to be providing for you guys. So thank you everyone for being attentive and participating. At this point in time, I would like to say goodbye. Bye bye, everyone.